From America's heartland, this is GJRB, Clinton, Iowa. The following is a GJRB podcast presentation. You heard the Gary Russen program all week. Now catch what you missed from live broadcast and from the podcast, plus memories of past shows. This is the Weekend Roundup. This is the best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online.
And hello everyone, hello everywhere across America. Those of you who already clicked this podcast, this is the best of the Gary Russen program. A podcast remembering some of the best moments of past Gary Russen programs here on GJRB. And this program has been off the air for quite some time. We've been off the air since I think our last show, which was here about a couple weeks ago. And now we need to go back through some of the shows and remember some of the memories of the Gary Russen program going back to February. As you will know, at that time, we just got back to our new format, and we also increased our GJRB programming to a 45-minute Spreaker plan. And we'll be talking about that as we go through some of the segments today. And first off, though, before we get started, those of you who are listening to this podcast this weekend, along with this podcast will be the upload of the CCF church services from last Sunday, June 25th, 2017. And you'll have this on as well as that this weekend. And some programming plans coming up this week will be the return of our regular programming. Now, this is a brand new program. Remember, we just launched our GJRB Sporadic schedule the beginning of this month. So we're about a month old on it now. And we'll be doing it in order. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to have about a couple weeks of programming in order. Now, some of the programs that are scheduled on it will be not always be on the air. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to load up, I'm going to be making a new GJRB schedule update podcast coming up after this one, which will be a video first, and then the audio portion will be uploaded on the GJRB Spreaker public site. But I would suggest you watch the video, which will be uploaded on the GJRB YouTube channel. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, and there you'll see the full programming schedule in front of you, and it will be posted on all the GJRB, all the social sites that the GJRB Online goes to, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and Pinterest. Pinterest will also get it, and you'll see the schedule right there. And I'm going to make a new video, and then the audio portion will be made into a GJRB Spreaker we're going to make another one. Actually, what's going to be is I'm going to record the podcast radio and then take that audio and make a video with it. And the audio portion will be the video. So it's going to be kind of, you have to see it and then maybe, other than listen to it, because it's going to be there. And that, like I said before, all programs you'll see on there will not always be airing. But we're going to do this schedule in verbatim, meaning that everything is going to be scheduled and on the air as you see on that schedule, and I'll talk about that later. But meanwhile, this is the schedule. There'll be the schedule update podcast, and I'll have that coming up in weeks to come here on GJRB Online. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be working on that next week. Meanwhile, though, this is the best of the Gary Russen program, and we're going to bring back some memories of past Gary Russen programs. I have a lot of really good stuff. I'm going to go back to January and remember when the first time that Donald Trump had called CNN and a bunch of fake news, and it's still going on now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to play some clip from that, from our January 11th show, just about a couple weeks before he was inaugurated as president. Also have a few other really good pieces we're going to play for you, and we're going to go all the way up from February clean up to April, and the first time we had somebody on the air live with us while we were on the air, and that was Rachel Ozzie Jarvis from Oregon, who joined us one day. We're going to play that again. And a whole lot more, so I hope you'll stay with me. We have a great program lined up for you. We have a lot of neat stuff, so I hope you'll stay with me. And remember some of the past stuff. And we had some really neat stuff this past first few months of 2017. And we're going to bring it to you in a retrospective. We always call it Best of the Gary Russen program. Now, this podcast, which isn't really on our GJRB podcast, are not on the GJRB Sporadic schedule. Those have a separate schedule, which I'll have made up, and I will talk about in the podcast. But podcast weekends are every weekend, just about here on GJRB Online. That's when I post a podcast of programs here on GJRB Online. And I'll talk about that as we get along. But right now, though, it's time to get started. We're going to get into our first segment about how Donald Trump called the news media, well, that's coming up next.
That sound more like everyone else.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land.
Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, even bowling, it's covered on Gary J's Sports page. I'll talk about what's going on in the world of sports all over the USA. We'll read you interesting articles about the players and even keep up with the scores of the games going on live. I'll even have guests from time to time and just talk sports. Better than any newspaper page, it comes alive. Gary J's Sports page, alternating Saturdays at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB Online. It was the year World War II ended and the troops came home, and the music was fabulous with big hits from Perry Como, Judy Garland, and the Andrews Sisters. The year was 1945. Listen to the year in music on the next Swing Time. I'm Gary Russen, and I'll be featuring the biggest hits from that year, along with trivial information about the prices of items such as groceries, the news events, the culture of 1945 on the next Swing Time.
GJRB Online. Still the What's Happening sound.
And again, welcome to the GJRB, the Gary Russen program. We're remembering the best of the Gary Russen program. Like I said just before the break, this is going to be on as a podcast, let's say every couple weeks or so, once I gather some stuff. And it'll be on a regular basis. So I hope you'll listen to it. It's kind of fun. We just enjoy bringing back some memories of the past few months of the program. We're going to go back and start with January 11th, 2017, and on that program, I was talking about how Donald Trump started slamming CNN and everything for calling it fake news, which he's starting to do again, as a matter of fact. He's already laid into a lot of media, and we'll be talking about that on a coming show. As a matter of fact, he was talking about that and accusing some of the other networks of also fake news. So we're going to talk about that on the Gary Russen program coming up. Here from January 11th is
Donald Trump's news conference this morning.
And a big argument he had with one of their reporters. Oh boy, this is really good. He slammed CNN, calling CNN fake news. Listen to this. This will blow your mind completely.
Question. Since you're, no, Mr. President-elect. Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a you are attacking our news organization? Can you give us a chance to ask a question? Sir, can you say, Mr. President-elect, can you say categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? Don't be rude. Can you give us a question? Don't be rude.
You have to ask yourself one question here now. Who's being rude?
Fake news. Sir, can you say categorically that nobody...
Yeah, you have to wonder about that. Who actually is being rude there? The big question there is this, okay? Now, like I said before, Donald Trump's like, he is straightforward. He doesn't mince words. Got on the Costa, whether they're news reporters, and boy, oh boy, was it like, chop the X, because he really laid into him there. I don't know. The conduct of Donald Trump in this situation is a little bit out of line. This was a news conference, okay? And being that it may, in a news conference, you have questions that are coming from the news media, asking questions to the president-elect. Okay, he's asking questions to the president-elect, and then you have Donald Trump sitting there, and he is just being outright rude too. I mean, look, why is he doing that? Okay, because what's up with that? Okay, we're looking at. The whole thing here, okay, the whole big picture here. It is a news conference. And the news conference means that the news media asks the president-elect questions. There's response to those questions. Whether you like CNN or not, whether you even give about CNN, whether or not CNN is broadcasting fake news, you be respectful to that news person, to that reporter, because this is a news conference. You don't talk over them. You don't try to shut them up. You let them answer, or you let them ask the question. Donald Trump didn't do that. He sat there and he kept on talking over, not letting the CNN reporter say what he had to say, not letting the CNN reporter ask questions. So you have to wonder about that, okay? Because to me, that's not a news conference. That's starting an argument, and it's kind of stupid to waste all that time, with the time you've got. Let the press ask their questions. Whether you like the question or know how to answer it is a different story. Donald Trump was very rude too. So, Well, President Obama had his final speech yesterday. He spoke to a crowd of thousands reflecting on his last 8 years in office. He spoke about sharp racial divide and how it swept the nation during his last few years. He said, quote, "We're not where we need to be, and all of us have more work to do and to solve this racial economic equality in particular." He goes on to say the irony is that, and of course the irony of the racial tensions are now worse in America after 8 years of having a black president. If we were ever to have that chance to heal racial tensions, it is under Obama's presidency. Instead, Barack has done nothing to perpetrate the hostility by now standing for all Americans and recently being silent when it came to supporting police officers. The thing about it is here, I don't care now who's in office. Really, when you think about it, and as our pastor said it tons and tons of times, whoever is in the leadership of our country, Jesus Christ reigns and rules here. Now, whether you like Trump or not, he was chosen by Christ to play a role. You heard it on the last 7 days last week when we talked, when they had the discussion. Play a role. He has a role to play. Okay? And quite frankly, President Obama just stabbed our country in the back too many times. Okay? He did. He's in the back 1 time. And quite frankly, I don't think that I'm going to too much. Because he really is not the president. And he left the office. He left the office making himself look like a saint. Notice that? The man left the office making himself look like a saint. And I gotta tell you something, folks. I have to say that I'm sorry. I think that that he wasn't that great a president. Not every president was great. I don't care who they were. From Kennedy, Nixon. I did like Gerald Ford a little bit. I liked Bill Clinton a little bit, although he kind of got annoying. Any more scandals in his presidency than anyone I've ever seen. So I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting 4 years. Really do. This is going to make for interesting news every time we broadcast today. Every time we broadcast here, interesting news. And let's just see what happens in the long run. Okay, let's just see what transpires in the next 4 years.
Yeah, and already there's some interesting things happening. And that is from our January 11th show, just before he was inaugurated as president. He was slammed CNN on that program. What the? Anyway, in our next segment, this is just, I think, around the time we expanded to our Spreaker Air Talent Plan. Really happy about that at the time. And this, I think, is from February. No, this is from the same show. Here it is.
I'm glad to have 100 hours and 45 minutes of live broadcasting, 100 hours of storage, and GJRB is gone pro with our Air Talent Plan, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. So we're going to be right back. Got more stuff coming up in the next 45 minutes, so stay with me. The Gary Russen program continues on GJRB in just moments. So stay with me for more stuff, and we'll have more fun here on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online. And it's too bad I couldn't find that piece. I was looking for Billy Preston's Out of Space here. Hey, wait, here I got it. Let's see what we got here. We're going to take you out with this fabulous stuff. This is great stuff. Bringing back memories from the 70s, because that is still the best music. Be right back. More to come on the Gary Russen program on GJRB.
And there you go. That's from that when we got, it's the quickie there on how we got our new thing up. And then we talk about Kevin Costner. And he wanted to make a movie, plans on making a movie about the Chicago Cubs. Thought this was fascinating. This is from the same show. January 11th.
And
talking about that here on the sports page here on GJRB Online. We're going to take a look at some scores coming up and some more sporting news. But right now, though, let's take a look at that story. It looks like Kevin Costner, Oscar-winning, award-winning, is going to make a movie about the Cubs. Yeah, he wants to make a movie about the Cubs, and he was recently on a Larry King program talking about this, Larry King's program, and he talked about the fact that he wanted to make this film. He's joined by co-star Gary Oldman to discuss a wide range of topics, but including memorable roles in which he played, and turning down in the state of the industry. Turning down of the state of the industry, and also got a little political with him as well. And in the interview, he talked to. I don't know. I get it written. Let's see. Wait here. I want to see if I can get to the beginning of this. He talked to Kevin Costner talked to Larry King about the possibility of making a movie about the Cubs.
In great baseball.
Yeah, I've enjoyed making those.
Field games, classic, best baseball move. Bull Durham.
Yeah, right with the game, I have enjoyed that. I got one more in me.
What are you going to do?
I can tell you that.
Okay, not good time.
I like the golf movie. There you go. Oh, the Tin Cup. Yeah. No, I think I have one more in me. Has to do with the Cubs.
Or so you are going to do?
I don't know. I got to get it written.
Watch new episodes of Larry.
He's got to get it written. Okay, but Kevin Costner's, I'm going to make it written. I'm going to make a movie about the Cubs. Okay, we'll be watching for that one, Kevin. Tell me exactly that. He's planning on doing that. He's going to make a movie about the Chicago Cubs. That's fabulous. Let's see what happens in that deal, huh? Okay, he was making a movie about the Chicago. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one to see exactly when that's going to be done. It could be any time. I'll keep an eye on that, though. I'll be watching the sports for that story. Coming up now, Betsy DeVos. I was talking about that public school system thing. She was appointed for the head of public schools. Is that what it was? I couldn't remember exactly. This is from our show in February, I believe. February 7th program. Betsy DeVos. Check this out. I don't know too much about this Betsy DeVos. I really don't know that much about her. I didn't really do too much research on her. I just heard her name mentioned since yesterday. Let's see, I know. The first time I heard her name was, I believe, yesterday. I don't know who she is. I imagine she is a Republican, conservative, more than likely. She is being appointed as the as a school. I think she's when do they have that note here somewhere? Anyway, they appointed her as a council for schools or something. And Chuck Schumer yesterday, the liberal, the left wing nut, he says she's not qualified. This is brought to you by the same people who say Trump don't qualify. President of the United States. I've heard that before. Don't qualify. And, well, yeah, maybe so. But, come on now, people. I mean, let's get real about this. It's, give them a chance, for heaven's sake. This is what I'm saying. Rush Limbaugh said it just today. Why don't we just, sit down, relax, cool our jets a little bit, give Trump a chance to prove himself. Okay? This is what it means to, time to, really, come on now. I mean, don't we have the right to do that? Trump has a right. It has right. He has not been in office that long. He's only been in office
what is today? Not even a month yet, right? Because he took the oath of office on January 20th. So, like I said, that was the last time we did this show. So it's now the 7th. It's February 7th. So let's give this man a shot first before we go and sit down and judge the man. Okay, let's see what we can do here. He's already. I mean, they're just mad because he put that travel ban on some of those countries that have potential terrorists, being Syria, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia. Was it? Yeah, these are countries that are a threat to America. And all he was really doing was protecting our soil. That's what he's doing, and people are just up in arms over this thing. It's nuts. It really is.
Okay, back on the program here, and you're listening to the Best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB. And next up, very same time, there's a tornado outbreak in Louisiana. And that was pretty bad storms down there at the time. One of the beginnings of a lot of tornado outbreaks and bad storms that were approaching. So this is from February 7th, 2017, Gary Russen program, Louisiana tornado outbreak. And part of our, of course, our weather in the news, which we do quite often on this program. And here it is from February 7th on the Best of the Gary Russen program.
Weather in the news. On the Fox. The tornado outbreak. Emergency responders in Louisiana are working to help survivors after multiple tornadoes touched down in that state. A lot of tornadoes here.
An update now on our weather alert from earlier. Emergency responders in Louisiana working to help survivors of a tornado outbreak there today. Are these live pictures? These are live pictures coming into us from New Orleans, an area in the east now. And you can see the devastation here. The New Orleans Times-Picayune newspaper and its online property reports the severe weather has injured now at least 16 people in Louisiana. Red Cross reporting it's joining the response. National Weather Service confirmed at least 3 tornadoes touched down in Louisiana. And local officials say they're working to confirm whether there were other twisters there. You can see this line of storms coming across. It's moved across the New Orleans area, come across Biloxi and past Christian, Mobile, working its way now through the Pensacola area. So if you're in the Panhandle, in Okaloosa, Walton, Bay counties, all in this area from Panama City to Pensacola, you should be on the lookout as these storms will trail. And on the way up in the northern part of the Panhandle, central Alabama, and on into Georgia, these storms are significant. Ask your friends in Louisiana. Pay close attention to your locals and be prepared should a tornado come your way. It's not yet springtime, but it's February, and they're coming.
Yeah, that's right. And it's just amazing how this is like just February. And like I said last night, thunderstorm in our area. Thunderstorm. Bizarre weather. Very, very bizarre weather. No doubt about it. This is like, wow. What is going on with our weather?
Yeah, I forgot about that. We were having thunderstorms at that time, too. In our area, in February. It was really bizarre. I'm telling you what. You're listening to the Best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. I'm Gary J. And we're just kind of getting through the first beginnings of the year here on it, picking some of the best parts. The reason why we call it the Best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB. And our next segment, we're on the same show and talking about global warming. And they say data needs to be changed in global warming. And they're very interesting here. That's what they say. They say that data needs to be changed in global warming. And I kind of was having a little bit of fun with this. 8-minute, 38-second piece. But it's pretty darn good, I think. This is from our same show, February 7th, 2017, Gary Russen program.
through social media this afternoon. NOAA, whistleblower claims that global warming data is improperly adjusted. Could be right on that one. I was listening to Coast the other night, a guy on there, and they were talking about how global, it wasn't Coast to Coast, never mind. It was Ground Zero, Clyde Lewis. A guy was on there talking about this. And he was talking about how the global warming front is kind of invented by these liberals who are trying to get all this stuff started with the New World Order and everything. And that they're going to use that as a tool to, well, look, FEMA camps. Our pastor's been talking about that for quite some time on the last 7 days. The FEMA camps. You listen to the PSAs. Now, I'm going to try and get a hold of the Ad Council because I want to see if I'd be allowed to play PSAs. Some of their PSAs on the air. So I'm trying to get permission to do that. And if I do, I'm going to ask him, really, you listen to these PSAs on all this stuff, and it's all headed to one thing. And what about these things they got in the sky? Chemtrails, right? The other night I was walking my dog, and I was looking up in the sky, and I see these chemtrails again. And not very much. I mean, there were some in the sky. It was kind of like a small streak, like maybe just on the western sky, the northwestern sky over here, over trees out here, was a small double line. Looked like an equal sign, okay? And it was up there. And I looked at it and I'm going, wow, is this what I'm talking about, all this stuff with the with chemtrails? I mean, really, these things, they're using it as a political platform, just like it's like global warming, They're using this whole bit with, anybody out there listened to the last Way Out There we had, and I had that Marshall guy on, from Coast to Coast, talking about Planet X. I'm still looking for it. Haven't found it yet, but I'm still looking for it. And they say it's to the right of the sun, kind of, but you have to wait till sunset. And quite frankly, when the sun sets over here, it's beyond the trees, so you really can't see anything. And I don't know if I'm going to get up quite that early to wait for the sunrise. I mean, really, I don't know about that. I mean, I could do that, but if I'm up that early, but I'm not always up that early. But to see this Planet X. What do you think of Planet X? You think it's real? I mean, really? Think of the whole thing with Planet X? I think that's like just another scare tactic from the liberal front. It could be. I mean, it makes sense, They're trying to put this stuff in our heads, thinking we're doomed. But again, Planet X came up from Ed Daines. I mean, he's the one who came up with this Planet X thing. Ed Daines. He came up with this stuff. And he predicted that it was end-time prophecy thing, and that the world will come to an end, and the two planets will collide, like that George Powell movie. I watched that movie, the one about a couple weeks ago, and the quality of that movie, I was watching on YouTube, and the quality of that movie was horrible. I mean, they sounded slightly like chipmunks doing this movie. Okay, and quite frankly, it was not a good version. But it's a good movie anyhow, and it depicts a movie in which a planet, in this case I think it was called Zelda or whatever it was called, and it was headed toward Earth, and people get on a spaceship and go to this planet to live, right? And you go, wait a minute here, isn't that kind of stupid? You're going to a planet, it's going to collide with Earth anyway, right? How dumb is that? It's going to destruct that world too. Okay, it's science fiction, okay? What do you expect? You know, it's a science fiction. It's what they do. But it's just a point. George Powell movie, but it's absolutely fabulous. Great film. If you ever get a chance to see that movie, if you're not really that much into science fiction, I am. I love science fiction. I really do. I love it. And one of my all-time favorite science fiction movies. Acting's not too good, but the movie's fabulous. So if you ever get a chance to rent that or something, do so. It's a great film. All right, tell you what we're going to do right now. I'm going to continue to scroll through social media. I'm going to drop in on Twitter. And maybe you folks can help me with this. I was on Twitter the other night. I watched that movie. I watched that TV series called Timeless. An absolutely great series, but it leaves you confused. So what I always do is I watch Timeless with people on Twitter, and they have a general idea of the plot line, and they help me understand it better. So I watch with people on Twitter, and I get an idea. But when I post a question, it doesn't show up on the tweets and replies. It doesn't show up there. It's like it shows up on my side of the Twitter, but it doesn't make sense to me. Why am I not seeing it, and are they seeing it? I really I just don't get it. Anyway, I posted that, and my friend Bill Edmondson was on there, and I was asking why I wasn't seeing the tweets and the posting. I said the reason I'm asking this question is because tweeting on the Timeless TV series Twitter page, and every time I post, I don't see my posting, but yet I see it on my Twitter, on my profile page, but it's like it doesn't show up. So am I actually, because I hit tweet to Timeless, okay, I click that, and I tweet, but I'm not seeing my tweets on that page, but yet it shows up on my, I don't understand that. So if anybody's got an idea, are they seeing it? That's the question. So, and that is from our show on February 7th, the Best of the Gary Russen program, and talking about the show Timeless, and I don't know, I ever got the results of that particular one. And I talked about that PSA bit. I am playing PSAs on here from the Ad Council, so you might hear them from time to time here on the on GJRB online. And coming up, I got more good stuff on the Best of the Gary Russen program yet to come. As I mentioned before, this program has been expanded. We used to do this only for 1 hour, but now that we got the show back on the air as a regular basis, we're going to have it on the air. We're going to be doing it more often. As a matter of fact, as our schedule starts, our sporadic summer schedule becoming the sporadic regular schedule, Gary Russen programs are going to be on a lot more often, even during the week. We're going to be doing some weeks where we're going to be doing the Best of the Gary Russen program on a lot more often, and we're going to do a lot more segments. So, also the Best of the Gary Russen program also includes rebroadcast of the most recent Gary Russen program. We do that from time to time on our regular program schedule. And we put that in and also play, find more tracks, and do is I'll run, I'll have more programs with more the best of the Gary Russen program airing as we go along. Hey, coming up, we're approaching the end of part 1, and we're going to continue the best of the Gary Russen program here in just a few moments with more of GJRB Online's retro of our talk radio program, the Gary Russen program, GJRB's original news talk program. And we'll be right back with more of the best of the Gary Russen program coming
You
up.
hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon. If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming. And programming in other great music formats. Like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and enjoy. Attention musicians. If you're starting a band or just starting a solo act on your own, go to the place on the internet where you can get equipment at great prices. HelloMusic.com. They have guitars, amps, mixers, and microphones, some at great low prices. Log on today and look at the equipment and the prices. www.hellomusic.com. Like them on Facebook for chances to win guitars, mics, and other band equipment. Remember the name, Hello Music. America's Street Music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grassgolds, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle with all the great songs you heard before and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites too. Every third Saturday at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB. Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help. GJRB is now visual with the GJRB YouTube channel. Watch the Gary Russen program, Way Out There, Sports Page, and Radio and Television Classics. Join in the conversation, answer trivia questions, or ask my guest questions on the GJRB Google Plus Hangout channel during my live call-in shows. These segments will be recorded for replay on these programs on the GJRB Internet Radio on Spreaker. Subscribe today and watch GJRB TV on YouTube. Okay. Got more of the best of the Gary Russen program coming up here on GJRB. And got a lot more coming up in the next 45 minutes, and we'll also include some of the stuff we got planned for you. We're going to be going back and remembering the sanctuary cities. Remember that one? Yeah, that was a big deal. We're going to talk about that coming up. Also, we'll talk about Erin Moran, remembering the Jody from Happy Days. She had just died recently. We'll talk about that. And from our April 26th show, had an interesting, great response that day from our new regular Rachel Ozzy Jarvis. We're going to play some of that. All coming up in the last half of the best of the Gary Russen program. We'll be right back.